morning, everybody. This is morning coffee.
803.
T-Velly Productions.
Good morning. It is Monday morning. It is time for today's edition of Morning Coffee. I am your host, Tanisha R. Atkins, and this is your dose of inspirational coffee this morning. It's a brand new week. It's a brand new day, which means you should have a brand new attitude. You should be heading in the week excited. This is a new week. New week means new opportunities, another chance to do something better than what you did on last week. So this is Morning Coffee for all of my new listeners and followers. We are on a mission to provoke change and growth, to help you to be a better you and to have thriving relationships. That is what the Morning Coffee Show is all about this morning. And again, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tanisha R. Atkins. We're going to dive right in today. We like to have what we call a round of real talk. And so that's exactly what we're going to do now. Last week we launched and we kicked off, and it was a very awesome week. We talked about how to relate with other people, how to have patience, how to do self-maintenance on yourself. Very good week. I definitely encourage you to go back. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch those, I'm sorry, listen, because you can't watch. But if you did not get a chance to listen, they are still available. But also, good show, good way to wake up in the morning, good way to just put some positive energy in your system and get your mind focused on some positive things so we can be better people. That is the goal, to be a better person. We should always be working to level up and to go to the next level. Which brings me right into our topic of conversation. Now, this week, we're going to be talking about personal development. Oh, yes, personal development. You have to, first of all, I'm going to tell you what personal development is, because some of you probably never heard that word. Like, what does that mean? Even though it's a little self-explanatory, I'm going to just kind of break it down for you and tell you what exactly it is. Now, what personal development is, it's an ongoing process of understanding and developing oneself in order to achieve your fullest potential. In order for you to reach your fullest potential, you have to continue to develop and grow and change and constantly do the work on yourself. Basically, personal development is doing the work on yourself and on your attitude, on your mindset, assessing where you are, assessing where you want to go, and getting yourself together, preparing yourself for the things that you say that you want to do. You have to develop. Okay, so let me kind of give you this illustration. Okay, imagine when a newborn baby comes. Okay, now typically when a newborn baby comes, we give them a bottle because babies don't have teeth and they have to eat, right? Okay, so imagine if we gave a newborn baby his milk in a cup, in a 16-ounce cup. Imagine if we did that. Can you imagine the type of mess that would make? Can you just think about that for a second? A newborn baby. Just think for a second. You handed him the milk inside of a cup. Now that baby, first of all, he is not going to know what in the world to do with that. He's going to be like, what am I supposed to do with this? Because you're trying to put something in his hands that he is, the baby, I'm going to say it's the he, that he's not ready for. He has to develop enough to hold a cup. And that is what personal development is all about. We want things. We have dreams. We have aspirations. We want to be great. We want to be the greatest. We want to be on the top of our game. But guess what? If those things are placed in your hands before you're ready for them, you're going to make a mess. And so you have to develop yourself. You have to develop. Your character has to be developed. Your mindset has to be developed. Your confidence has to be developed. Your spiritual side of you has to be developed. they have to be developed. And how do you become developed? Because as you go through life is a process, and every step you take is a part of your development. But a lot of times what's happening is we're not really paying attention that much because we're so busy just doing the day-to-day, And some people really don't even believe, first of all, that they can achieve anything. So they never even put steps in place to get to them because you're not self-developed, because your mindset is not self-developed. You sabotage yourself by your thinking because your mindset has to be developed. Your mindset has to switch over to, maybe I can do this, to I'm going to do this. And so it takes some development. You have to feed your mind positive affirmations. You have to have power conversations. You have to have something to plug into your mind to change your mindset. And that is a part of your personal development. It's all about what you're feeding yourself. What are you doing how are you doing the maintenance on yourself? And do you know how many people that go around that don't do personal development? Have you ever seen anybody that's grown and they just act like a big old kid? Just pout every time they get their way. Every time things don't go their way, they pouting, and everybody got the feel of wrath or why of them. And then you gotta look, and now you gotta deal with their old nasty attitude, because guess what? They haven't been developed yet. They still on some kid stuff like, well, when things don't go my way, I'm gonna pout. I'm gonna show you I got an attitude. Well, kids do that. So when are you gonna grow up? And if that's you, when are you gonna grow up? Why does the whole world have to feel your wrath when things... Now, don't none of us necessarily like when things don't go our way. Okay, yeah, we might get a little, testy, a little... But to be throwing temper tantrums and really getting the attitude and like shutting all the way down on people because somebody said or did something, we gotta grow. You gotta develop your patience, number one, which is what we talked about last week. So we talking about personal development. Don't y'all be mad at T-Velly, because I'm just telling you, I have to keep it real, and because this is real talk, first of all. And we have to be provoked to change. We have to know that that's not okay. Your lack of personal development will affect your relationships with people. They just will, because again, like we talked about last week, you'll get to the point where no one even wants to be around you because you're annoying. You're still doing things like you did when you were a kid. Come on, people. We got to grow up. Personal development. Personal development. That's what we're going to be talking about that all week long. So what happens when you fail to personally develop yourself? Well, one of the things is, again, certain things that you are wanting to achieve in your life. I just feel like this. This is real talk, so I'm going to keep it real. God is not going to put in your hands what you can't handle, because he loves you too much. And he's not going to sit there and watch you crash and burn, or aid you in the crash and burn, because you're not ready for what you say you're ready for. Like, say, okay, we talked about the baby. Okay, so the baby got to eat though. But what we have to do, we have to feed the baby in a utensil, or feed the baby in a container. Let me say it like that, not utensil. But feed the baby out of what the baby can hold. But how is that baby ever going to grow up? It's going to come a time when that little milk not going to hold that baby no more. But if that baby continues to just drink that milk, then what? How is the baby ever going to grow? So in order, again, it goes back to what you're feeding yourself. In order for that baby to grow up, we got to add some stuff. Some of y'all got babies. Y'all know y'all be giving babies those that cereal. Now they don't even wait no more. 2 weeks old when they get the cereal in the bottle. Because, first of all, you want the baby to be full, the baby cutting up like, this is not going to work. But we're not going to go off into that. That's another topic. But the point is, when you personally develop, you have to feed yourself some new information, okay? So, all right, so let's see. Okay, so we talked about the ways that the personal development, your mindset, developing your attitude. Basically, again, just not want to be too repetitive, because this is just, I'm kind of setting the tone for what we're going to talk about this week. just basically having some self-development going on. And really, what I want you to do this week, I really want you to assess where you are. I really want you all to get a journal. It will be good to really keep a morning coffee journal, and I may look into making some of those. That would be a great idea. Note to self. But really get you a journal. And I want you to write down, I want you to take a look at your life and ask yourself, put on the paper, where do I really see myself? And I know this is something a lot of times we throw around. People say that kind of stuff, where you see yourself at in 5 years. But I really, really want you to ask yourself and be serious. I don't want you to ask yourself, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I want you to ask yourself, where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be? Because where you see yourself and where you want to be should be the same thing. But I want to take it a little further and say, where do you want to be? Because you can see yourself over there and never take steps to get there. So I want to know, where do you want to be? Not what you see. Where do you want to be in 5 years? And then I want you to write down in your mind what you think it's going to take for you to get there. What is it that we talked about making adjustments last week? I want you to write down one adjustment that you know right now that's been coming to you over and over again. One thing that you know that you need to change. And I want y'all to send me an email. For those that send me an email, I'm going to put your name in a drawing, and I'm going to give away a free t-shirt. For those of you that I do sell t-shirts, and I'm going to give away a free t-shirt. I want you to email that to me because I'm serious about helping you to, provoking you to change and grow. I want you to, so the assignment again is to get a piece of paper, write on the piece of paper, where do I want to be in 5 years? Not where I see myself, where do I want to be? Because, and while some of y'all might say, well, that's a little strange, I never really heard it explained like that. I just feel like you can see yourself somewhere in 5 years. And I know I probably said this again, but I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying. I can see myself over there. A lot of us, because that's how visions and dreams work. You can clearly see yourself doing these things. But the question is, do you want to do them? And that's why I say, don't tell me where you see yourself. Tell me what you want to be doing. In 5 years, between now and 5 years, what do you want to have changed? For me, and I told y'all this last week, I want to improve my health. So there are things that I'm putting in place, things like getting a gym membership and really assessing my diet, and just because within 5 years, I see my brand expanding to a whole nother level. And in order for me to be able to keep up, I got to get myself together, So you have to have those tough conversations with yourself in order for you to personally develop. You got to keep it real and stop going around pretending like everything is all together. I'm fine. I'm working. It's not about material things. It's about what's going on the inside of you. You can have all the material things in the world, everything you've ever dreamed of having. But if your inside is not right, you got to do the work on yourself. We're going to talk about so much stuff this week. We're going to talk about letting go of stuff in your past. We're going to talk about that because the Bible say, put away from you all bitterness. Everything I told y'all, the base of this show, you got to take it back to the word. Do what the word say. Put away from you bitterness. Let these people go that have hurt you. Release these people so you can be free. I'm telling y'all not going to want to miss this week. But this has been Real Talk with T-Velly. I didn't mean to go too hard on y'all today, but I definitely wanted to provoke you to some change and growth because we want these things. But you know what? God wants these things for us more than we want these things. Okay? So that has been today's morning coffee. I'm your host, Tanisha R. Atkins. I hope I served you up a good cup of inspirational coffee. I want you to connect with me on Facebook at Morning Coffee Podcast Show. And you can also connect with me at Tanisha R. Atkins. And I will see you all tomorrow for another round of morning coffee. Y'all have a blessed day.